Yo, school is low-key on some BS the way they had us going. It was strict as hell for no reason. We didn't get paid to be there, but we had to be there unless we wanted to go to jail. I'm still thinking about suing my mom for making me go. I'm joking, just in case anyone takes that serious. Yeah, my mom, she cool. But them public schools, man, I'm pretty sure the private schools suck too. Some of y'all teachers and y'all administrators was really tripping, man. First of all, let's talk about the no hoodies in school. I can see where they're somewhat coming from, but some of y'all was just tripping about that. I'm talking about from having teachers like yell across the hall about it. I'm talking about literally teachers just snatching it off my head one time. Bro, I remember back in high school, we did a fire drill, and there was a slight breeze outside, and I get a little coldy. I was a skinny kid in high school, so I had my hood like just halfway above the head, just to keep it from getting on my neck, the wind. And as soon as I was gonna get in the building, I was gonna take it off. Bro, two of the administrators were literally sitting at the door watching us walk back in. As soon as I walk in, I go to take off my hoodie. I pull it down as soon as I get in the building, and the administrator looks at me and says, "Hey, take your hood off. It's not that cold." Bro, I could be the wrong person. You know that, right? Like, I could be this demonic ass little YN kid who's ready to fight over something as little as that. Now, granted, would that make me a good person? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is having that form of, I'm gonna be a bit of a tyrant when I talk to this kid, or I'm gonna be demanding when I talk to this kid, even though I know he was pulling his hoodie off. It sounded like she just had an issue with the hoodie in general, because I can wear it outside, but she chose to have an issue with it. Overweight white woman, by the way, had a nerve to talk to me like that, like I was a prisoner or something. Bro, I had a friend who wore a hoodie throughout his whole senior year. I never seen anyone tell him to pull that hood out. Now, granted, he was the same race as me, but what we doing? Also, teachers, me wearing a hoodie does not make me a certified member of 4K Trey. That shit does not make me a California Crip. Stop treating me as such. Maybe it's a fashion look, you ever think of that? But that ain't even the scratch of the surface. One thing I hated was teachers who would say the bell doesn't dismiss you, I do. Or teachers that end up, like breaking their clock or taking their clock away so that we ain't looking at the time. Who do you think you are? School is supposed to be preparing us for the workforce. Y'all are out here running a freaking circus because y'all think it's funny, or y'all just hate seeing people in a rush. Bro, adults are in a rush. I'm sorry to tell you. Adults in the workforce are in a rush. I don't know what to tell you. Everyone wants their lunch break and everyone wants their time off. And everyone's ready to go home at the end of the day. Just like you are. Don't be mad at me because you have to stay longer to grade papers. I didn't choose that life, you did. Like, y'all's class is not that important. I don't know why y'all think it is. Also, having bathroom passes and doing things like, you only get 2 bathroom passes per grade period. If you don't use them, you get this for your grade, blah, 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 blah. One thing I 100% appreciated by senior year was having those few teachers who were mainly like, "Hey, y'all finna go into the workforce, or y'all about to go to school. Let me tell you something about college, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to ask to go to the restroom, just go to the restroom. They're not going to take attendance," things of that nature. Or the teachers that's actually just teaching us some reasonable stuff. Like my last year, senior year, I learned how to do stocks, or mainly learn how the stock market work. That's actually useful stuff. 9 to the second power isn't going to help me at all. I'm sorry to tell you. Only way that some freaking crazy math problem's going to work out for me is if I'm literally being kidnapped and it's literally to save someone's life or my life, to answer a hard ass math question, and they give me a pencil and tell me that I gotta show my work. Like that's literally the only way. No calculator, no in my head math. I have to show my work, show how I got that's the only way. Anyways, we're not talking about school subjects. We're talking about these dumbass rules that they decided to implement. So I'm gonna get back on track. But going back to the restroom thing, we don't have to ask to use the restroom at all of the jobs that I've worked, after high school. I say college because I dropped out. Yes, I'm a junior college dropout. Laugh. I'm not. I ain't gonna lie. Only time I had to ask to use the restroom was when I was in the military and I needed a relief because I was on watch. But that's different. I mean, like, extremely different from me not interrupting your class or me walking out of class. Now, let me play devil's advocate real quick. I understand as a teacher, you are responsible for all the students in that classroom. So if someone leaves and you don't, you're just following the rules, and I understand that. I'm more mad at the school system. This isn't a diss to the teachers. I'll speak on that later though. But bro, if I gotta use the restroom, I'm gonna go to the restroom. Like if I remember one day my freshman year, I caught a cramp during track season. And they told me it's because I'm not drinking enough water, which, you know, surprise, surprise. But I have to be honest, I was kind of feeding off Kool-Aid at that point in time. You know, fast metabolism. I was like, what, 15? Come on, fast metabolism. But bro, I remember they gave me a water bottle, and our school had 5 periods. And the athletic trainer told me, hey, you need to drink a full thing of this every period and refill it at the water, you know, at the water fountain thing. So I did just that. Little did I know that I was going to have to use the restroom like a mug. Bro, I went to the restroom dang near every class period. I had to use some of my hall pass things, my restroom pass things. I missed out on some A's, some B's maybe, because, you know, I was using the passes for the classes that, you know, I wasn't failing. Not that I was failing any classes my freshman year. But that's one of the things, because now that we're adults, we drink. Bro, there's adults who bring these like gallon water bottle things to work. And like I said, you're preparing us for the workforce at school. So if I got a gallon water bottle thing, I'm gonna have to use the restroom, especially if I'm not eating a lot of sodium, because sodium or you know, salt, whatever you want to go by, does kind of hold your water in. But that's one thing I will say. I'm glad that we are able to drink water in class, because you know what we're not able to do in class? We're not able to eat. Now, some classes, you know, the teacher is a normal freaking person and they don't care that you're eating. Other classes don't allow food. Now, granted, I have to play devil's advocate for some of these. Some of these kids be leaving trash. Some of them be spilling stuff. And you know, these teachers don't want ants and roaches in their classrooms. So, you know, that's a fair assessment. Or any liquids that, you know, stain, you know, juices, you know, your energy drinks, your sports drinks. So I can see where the teachers are coming from. Because those drinks that stain easily, if they get into the floor and they seep through, those have to be cleaned at the end of the year, because at the end of every school year, the school hires people to come, you know, pull the floor and get to the, you know, the blueprint of the floor and clean it. Not that they hired them to clean it, but if it, you know, if it's dirty, then, you know, that might be a little more money to have to spend. So I can see where that's coming from. I'm a fair guy. You see what I just did for the school system? I'm giving y'all passes because I'm coming with the facts. But to all you teachers just being freaking little tyrants over here wanting to control some stuff, why y'all hate food? And listen, I can understand if it's like a full course meal, steak and lobster, and the smells going throughout the class, blah, blah, blah. But damn, like chips? You know, this one's from my Hot Cheetos and Takis girls, you know, all the loud girls at 7 a.m. in the morning. Stopping us from eating chips is kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the food thing is one of the things that I can't really fight for the hardest, because, you know, food does cause a lot of stuff, because you dudes leaving trash and stuff and spilling stuff. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. But the last thing I want to hit on with, you know, the school system, it should be the last thing at least, is bring bullying back. Now, here's the thing. I'm not talking about the intense, like, craziness that you see in these TV shows or these Netflix documentaries with like leaking, solicited photos, you know, like very aggravated physical assaults that happen. And, you know, just things of that nature, you know, that are illegal. Beyond illegal, we should bring, you know, there should be some form of bullying in school. You go to school to learn how to deal with life, right? When you take bullying out of school, you're losing the character, that character build that people are gonna have in high school. Because in the real world, there's assholes. I'm sorry to tell y'all, for y'all young dudes in high school, but there's nothing but people who are assholes out here in the real world. If you don't know how to deal with these ass clowns, you gonna be behind, man. That's why me personally, I don't think I would ever homeschool my children. I know a lot of people say because of the social anxiety thing, but you know, there's people with social anxiety who are in public school. But I want my kids to literally learn like how to be adults. That's if I ever have kids, of course. But I don't want no freaking kids running around here, you know, just not getting the proper, you know, life stuff. And bullying is one of those proper life stuff. Like I said, character build. Learn how to deal with certain things. Learn how to go about things. Learn, you're gonna mess up. You're gonna learn what you do better. You know, get rejected by a few girls, this and that. Kids need to learn that. You're gonna get clowned. You're gonna, you know, get jokes on you. It ain't easier out here. A lot of y'all using school to focus on like educational stuff. That is stupid. we need to learn life stuff that actually matters. Because let me tell you something, your 4.0 GPA ain't gonna matter that much when you 28. But yeah, going back to the teacher thing, like I said, I know the teachers don't make these rules, they just follow them, which, you know, they should. And y'all know how I'm about like rules is rules. I'm rules is rules in the meaning of I will follow your rules when they are prevalent to me, right? Well, it's like, all right, you know, these rules are enforced on me, I have to follow them, that's cool. As long as you aren't making something up, it needs to be somewhere in a rule book that you can find for me that this is what it is. If I got dreads at school, don't tell me my dreads are too long when they aren't too long and you don't know what the length is for hair. Things like that. I only say that because I used to have dreads in high school. But yeah, shout out to the teachers. Like I said, I have a respect for teachers. You know, they really do well. I'm not gonna be the person who say they don't get paid enough. I think teachers get, you know, it's supply and demand. Let's be honest, everything's supply and demand in America. So you gotta hate capitalism if you don't like how much teachers get paid, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, literally nothing but respect to the teachers, man. I got plenty of family members, aunts, cousins who are teachers, grandparents who are teachers at a point. But if you are one of these teachers who are doing something you shouldn't be doing, fix yourself. Other than that, I really ain't got a whole bunch of enough to say, man. Thanks for watching if you watched this far. Like, comment, subscribe. I said it right this time. Deuce.